in. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first board meeting of 2022. We're always glad to see everybody joining us virtually once again. We have a good group tonight here. I am going to repost a couple things in the chat for everybody here tonight. We are using some new tools, and so I'm going to try to make sure that you can see those things. Just drop them into the chat. So I think everybody saw via our Parent Square updates that we are now using board docs for our agendas and our minutes. And you tonight, if you so choose, can just pop right into that link that's in the chat to just check our agenda for the evening and be aware of the things that we're going to be talking about. We've also spent some time at our last meeting updating our participation guidelines. So those are there for you also, posted on that site, and you can click into that link and check those out. But I believe at this point we want to call our meeting to order at 6:38 p.m. And I know that Brett will be absent this evening. So I think we've got the gang all here. So with that in mind, I will just quickly run down the agenda and we will have some time for public comment as well. So the agenda begins with our public comment period. So that'll be in just a moment here. We will also, of course, look at our past meeting minutes. For those of you on the board, just remember those are now, if you go to your board docs site, they're actually in that site. And there's a link where you can click to review those minutes. So if you need to navigate back there and peek at that, that link is in there now. And then once we review them, we approve them, then I will go back in there and I will be able to hit approved or released. And that will make those minutes then immediately available to the public. So all of you don't have as much of a waiting period for those to get visible to you as soon as they are approved. You can go back onto that board doc site and look for the minutes and they will be there for you. Another quick item I wanted to point out is that we are getting very tech savvy and we now have also a recording of our December meeting. So those of you who have reached out in the past, many of you have come and said, hey, I wasn't able to attend the meeting. I would like to listen to the meeting. We are now going to regularly make that available and use Zoom to capture the recordings. Want to thank a quick shout out to Stephen, our IT manager, helping us out to get those recordings packaged up, placed in a place that we can view them so that they are now out there. So if you do navigate around on that board doc site, you will notice when you click into the December 14th meeting that there is a link where that little orange video icon is. You can actually click that link and you will be able to immediately watch that video with a very snazzy intro and ending, I might add, just to tempt you. But again, you can just click right there and it will play through for you. So we are recording as we do with all of our board meetings. So now we will begin that process of making sure we always capture that video and make sure to get it out on the site as well. So lots of ways for you to stay plugged in and hear what's going on, even if you can't make it to these exact meetings at this exact time. So hopefully that is helpful for you. So in terms of the agenda, from a minutes perspective, we will review those, we will approve those. We will head on over to Patrice's report and hear from her on those updates. We will then head on to, I believe, our finance report. I believe Marnie's here with us tonight, so we'll hear a quick PTO update, any committee updates that anyone has on the board. And I know Brett won't be here tonight, so we'll probably close out pretty quickly after that. So sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay. That is the plan. And for this period, we are now in our public comment period. We are trying a new process where we are offering that opportunity either virtually like we are today, or when we do certainly hope at some point to be hybrid where we will have the in-person and the online. We're moving away from the email comments and asking for you to comment here. The key item around the guidelines is that you have 3 minutes to share. If you so choose to speak, we would love for you to unmute and let us know. The way this would work is if you could just type into the chat and say, hey, I have a public comment, then we can kind of keep track of if anybody does have anything they would like to share. We'll just go down the chat to see who types first and take any comments that there may be. Again, you have up to 3 minutes to share, so I'll kind of be the timekeeper for you. And that's it. Again, you're welcome to unmute and also come on your video if you so choose when you are sharing. And then we'll move on to the next person if there is any other comments. So with that, officially opening up for any public comments, please just type into the chat if you would like to make a public comment, and I will call on you.
Nina, anything we want to say?
Oh, what? Cindy Manners, I would love for you to make an update on some guidance items if you would like to test this out.
Hello.
I will call it.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I know it was in the newsletter, but this Thursday for current 7th and 8th graders, I'm going to be hosting and families, parents, kids, everybody. We're going to be hosting a Zoom meeting talking about what our high school program is to get ahead of the transition into high school. I know this is the time of year that families start making those decisions about where they are going to go. And I've also invited 7th graders so they can even be more ahead of the game. And then in 2 weeks, we're actually going to do the same thing with our 5th and 6th graders, talking about the transition up into middle school and explain kind of what the differences are and what our middle school program is. So that is what that is for the next couple weeks. Thanks.
That's awesome, Cindy. Thank you.
Thank you. Way ahead of the game. That's great. All right. Any other public comments? Please just let us know by typing in the chat if you have something. Okay, going once, going twice. All right.
That's quality teacher wait time right there, Kristen. You get an A+ tonight.
Okay, we'll keep moving then. So we'll head right over to, we need to do a vote on our prior meeting minutes. I think that is our only vote tonight, if I'm tracking the votes correctly. So as far as that, hopefully y'all had a chance to look. And any questions or comments?
I didn't see any additions or changes. I don't know if anybody else noticed anything that needed to be on there. It looks very detailed. Thank you, Kristen. Like the format. It was like your first official, like in boards docs format.
Yeah. So I did update the format a little bit because it was kind of following the templatized agenda. So it looks a little different, but yeah.
Okay, we just need a motion to approve prior board meeting minutes, please.
Make a motion to approve the board minutes.
Thank you, AJ. Do I have a second?
Can I second that if I wrote the minutes myself or not? That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be a correlate
I don't think I'll second then. Never mind.
No.
Just in case.
We'll make Philip come off mic.
Okay, well, I would, but that just forces me to admit that my year's been crazy, and so I barely even made it into my board email. So I haven't looked at the board minutes, so
Okay.
I don't really feel like I should second it. So I think Kristen would be more, like I'll second approval. I don't know. I've seconded things with like, the budget because I feel like it's a statement of confidence in what you're proposing. So I think you can go either way. So I'm declining not because I don't think that they're good. But
I made the motion. I'm assuming I can't second. So,
I sort of like Philip, a little bit different. I couldn't figure out how to see the minutes, and I don't know if I'm bad at board
Oh.
docs or miss
I
an
could
email.
screen share. I don't know if that would be helpful or not. If you
If
go
you have to
into
go- yeah.
meetings, go into meetings under board docs and then click December 14th meeting, then you'll see view minutes. There's like a little clock icon in there. You want to click that little clock icon, and then that will take you to the minutes from last week or last month.
Yeah, you have to kind of get in the mindset of going to the previous
Mhm.
meeting.
Yeah.
I get it. I had to train my brain a little bit differently with this too, but yes, you have to go to the previous meeting because those are the minutes that we're approving. So yeah. Any luck?
I'm failing at clock icon.
Here, I think I can probably screen share.
What side do we want to?
I'm sure there were many
no, I
missed training
cannot.
opportunities for me.
I don't have, if you make me a co-host, I can screen share, Kristen.
Oh.
It's not.
Sure. Hold on.
I'm looking forward to seconding this motion.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Co-host. Yes. Okay, you should have it now, Stacy.
I got it. Thank you very much.
I would, but I have like about 5 windows going right now, and if I pull up one
No,
more
your
window, I
problem.
might.
So when
not
you're
be
in
successful.
you're going to have to be logged into your account first off, Kevin, instead of like just the general way to get into there. And then once you're there, you can click on meetings. And so far, we just have the 2 meetings in there currently. So you'd click on December 14th. When you click on December 14th, then right down here is that clock icon that says view minutes that I was mentioning. And then you just click that. And then we have the meetings listed in there, all organized and nicely put, thank you, in black and green. Did that help?
It helps to see the minutes on the screen. They look in order, and I'll second the motion. I'll
Okay.
work later to figure out the clock icon because I am logged in,
Okay.
but I don't have it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I need to make sure that you've got the access there. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm,
I need
that might be
permission, Kristen.
Stephen might be able to put together, some screenshots, snips so that everybody knows where to go.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right. Board minutes pass. That took a little bit longer than anticipated.
Sorry, I know we're learning. We're learning the new ways. I will send more info as well after. All right. Okay, so then that is that, and we will head over to Patrice for your update.
Okay. So love the way, I want to give credit right now to Kathy Tobin. She worked on the newsletter this afternoon, and I love the tone that she set because I'm sure all of us feel heavy and burdensome with all things COVID right now. If you don't, I want to live in your space for a little while because this positivity rate at 40% has us every day, checking for staff and students and making sure that we can provide a safe environment for both. So I love the way she started the newsletter with just some happy news that you would think that we're just living all things COVID, but we really do have some things going on, and students are really happily engaged in instruction, and teachers are happily engaged in teaching. So, and we do have some things that have started. For one thing, we have our basketball team that has been announced, and we will announce the program and the schedule as soon as we get that. I think it's going to be a little bit later this year. I think it's going to be in February. So we're excited about our middle school basketball team. We also have the Seussical musical. Say that fast. The Seussical musical that is already starting. That's going to be the spring musical that Lily Hastings and the group and the troupe is putting on. And so they are up and practicing as well. We also did get today, just found out that we did get approved for our plans and our budget sheet for our large amount of money coming to us from ESSER 3. So those are all really good things that have happened. So we're really excited about that. Also want to roll out, and I really, at this point, I really should get a drum roll. And Cindy, you should just really come off and give us a drum roll like you can as a musician. So go ahead, Cindy, give us a drum roll. Come on. Where's the drum roll?
Oh, I'm doing it. You can't hear it.
Can't hear it. Anyway, okay. We wanted to announce tonight, if you could, Kristen, let me be a co-host too. I want to share my screen because we have to show off our high school logo. So we want to share that with everybody tonight. So that we thought that would be fun. So here is our proud Panther. So can everybody see that? So our Innovation Montessori High School, believe me, this wasn't easy because Panthers can have all sorts of looks, and there was lots of discussions about what we wanted our Panther to look like. Not too mean, but serious, dignified. So I love it. I'm very excited for it. And we also have a few more things that we're working on for the logos. And we're just really excited to be able to start presenting this. We are going to change this one because this one just has innovation on it, and we are afraid that it may get confused with another school. But we have an opportunity to put together all these different marks. And so we have a paw that's going to be part of our mark, as well as IMHS, and then just as well as our Panther by himself. So Cindy has worked really hard on that. So has Allison Franks and the students that came up with it in the beginning. So we're just excited to roll that out. Any questions about that?
Looks great.
I know. It's
Super
exciting.
cute. Mm-hmm.
So with that, I wanted to just also give you an update on accreditation. We are moving forward. We do finally have our date, and most importantly, our lead evaluator, who will be on Zoom with us for 4 days, starting January 30th and run through February 3rd. So we're excited. I don't know if that's the right word, but we're excited about that. I will probably be excited when it's done, it's over, because it is a lot of work, but it's been a great learning tool as well. Also wanted to give you a building update. Bottom line is we're still kind of a little bit in a hold. The things, even for the report that I gave you, there's a few additional updates. I have been able to communicate with Alyssa with Schutz, which, if you remember, they're the ones that are handling our special exception to the city. And so we're trying to finish up that application, and she has messaged me today and a few other people. And so we're getting that, the actual paperwork filled out so that we can present that to the city. The hope is that we'll be on the calendar in February for the city for that special exception. We are still waiting to hear from Richard Moreno. We had a finance committee right before the break about the bond process. He messaged me again today, got an update that he has 4 proposals for underwriters, and he is putting together a package to share with you guys and to share with us so that we can make those decisions about which underwriter we're going to use. And the underwriters, as you remember, are going to be very important because one, they are also going to be kind of like the ringmaster as we go into this whole process, being able to organize everything. And so I'm looking forward to our underwriters, us deciding who that's going to be. Melissa Arnold has continued just being a great resource while we are waiting for those underwriters. She's been updating Leanne with Building Hope on various due diligence because, you know, and this actually slipped by me briefly because, again, we have 3 packages or 3 pieces of property that we are rolling into this bond. We are rolling in, obviously, the new building for the high school. We are rolling in the work on Fuller's Cross, which will include driveline, the basketball court, as well as a soccer field. So we're really thrilled about that. The timeline for that has not been totally fleshed out, but again, we're excited about moving forward on the Fuller's Cross and what we're going to be doing there. And then we always knew that the bond process, part of the bond process was purchasing our own property. But what I think Leanne kind of just forgot, that we also have to go back now and do some of those due diligence pieces that we've done with the other building. We have to get the property condition report. We have to get the environmental survey. So we have to get all those things that, you know, we've done before, but we've got to do this again because we're actually purchasing the property. So all in all, it's very exciting and it's moving in the right direction. I did give you Brett, when I talked with him, he knew he was going to be out tonight. And when I talked with him last week, he thought it would be helpful for me to give to you a brief synopsis of how we're turning the building into the rooms, the way we're renovating those rooms. And can you see on my screen where it says existing classrooms? 26 total?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's what you can see. So just sharing also with anybody in the public wants to see this, is that we have existing classrooms right now in that space. We have 13 classrooms on the first floor, and they listed for us the various square footages of those class spaces. Then on the second floor, there were 13 spaces, and then again, how many and what square footage. And then in the second column, we have how we are changing those spaces to make them larger for the use of the high school. So you see on the first floor, we have 7 classrooms. We have on the second floor, we have 10 classrooms. Any questions about any of that? Okay.
And I was just going to confirm that, you know, we did vote on the money and the deposit and all that. So I'll assume all that has taken place at this point and we're
Yes.
secured. So it's a go. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're moving.
Great.
We're moving into all those directions. So all that's a go. Okay, we did, as we shared before, you know, we have been short-staffed in our ESE department, but we did have somebody on our staff that took the ESE credentials. And so they are in the process of learning everything ESE, and they are supporting student services right now. So we're excited that Maria has joined our student services group. We also, as we said before, I think I already said this, but the application for 2022 and 2023 is now live. Our live tours have been paused. I'm not saying suspended all the way. We're going to say we're just taking a break. Kathy is looking into some options for how we might want to possibly live stream. You know, we're not videographers ourselves, so we're just considering some things that we can do. And as everyone here knows, I'm sure Omicron is out of control. It's we are, you know, looking at a 40% positivity rate, and we're working hard to keep classroom staff, while every day is a new challenge, but we really appreciate everything that everybody is doing. And then here, I just had about the ESSER 3, but like I said, we had that all approved. So that's really exciting. So now we can just get at being able to use the funds as we had hoped to use them.
How are we on staff? Because I know you said you were kind of backfilling the ESD position. So then have we backfilled that person's position already?
Yes.
Are you able to, do we have any other vacancies currently, or?
No, we have some positions that we've kind of shifted around a bit, and partially because some of these funds are letting us do that. So right now, student services was our biggest concern, but right now we're in a good space. Yeah.
Thank
Kathy,
you.
do you have anything else to add? Sorry, AJ.
Oh, no problem. Sorry, just going back to the building. Thank you for the update on that, and I appreciate the grid with the classrooms. Cool to see. So, what does the timeline look like for from the renovation for that? And is that is the communication like, hey, that shouldn't be a big thing, or is that a pretty big deal? What does that look like?
So again, we are, definitely on a timeline, that we anticipate getting this special exception in February. We anticipate the bond to allow us to be, the bonds to be complete, to allow us to have that money to purchase and to get started on the renovation. So all of that is expected to happen in March. And if that all goes the way it's supposed to go, then we should be good to go. One of the things that I feel fairly confident about, with this group that we've worked with, we're not building anything. This is more simple renovations. So I feel fairly confident. For instance, and again, I don't even know the timeline because these are some of the questions I want to ask them on Thursday when we meet. But for instance, do they have to do the floor first, or can they do the floor last? Because, for instance, if we're in a time crunch and we're looking at, are we going to get it done? Then, okay, we can save the floors for winter break. We don't have to get the floors in right away. There's some of those things that I feel like we can negotiate, this, so that we make sure. And plus, we are also, this whole building is being retrofitted for the 288 students that we will eventually have, but we're not going to have immediately 288 students. So therefore too, AJ, in my mind, I'm kind of playing with that idea too, but that's something that I plan to ask at our Thursday's meeting as we kind of dig in a little bit more to that timeline.
Awesome. And I guess the last part of that is too, how do you feel with it? And with the progress of all those different items, are you comfortable with where we're at, or what's your?
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable. I've been bugging Richard a lot about the underwriters. I really want to get the underwriter process because that's something that we need to really kick off. And then I've been bugging Alyssa a little bit about the special exception, because we really need to get that, in place with the city. We need to get on the city docket. I feel very confident, as I've shared before, that the city is very supportive of what we're doing. But we do need to get on that docket because we need to get on P&Z, the planning and zoning, so then we can get onto the regular city docket. So all that needs to still happen.
Perfect. Well, thank
The
you.
only other thing I would add too is that Jay, all the prep work is still going on behind the scenes. So Justin is still working on getting the drawings up to scale for all of the changes that we're going to be making to the building. That's already in play, right? All of the construction pieces that we also need to be doing is also happening on the other end too. So while the finances are being worked on, the construction pieces are being put into place too. So.
Good job. Thank you, Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the recap, and you've covered all of the items that I was like, I want to make sure to, comment on speed's important, staying on them with those follow-up questions. You sound like you've been through a few city approval processes now with the way it just rattles off your tongue. You're like, oh, we need this, we can get there. So yeah, nice work to all of you, to you and the team is working with you to move all of it forward. Keep doing what you're doing and let me know if I can help in any way. If you need me more
I'm
involved.
sure I'm going to be. I will tell you this. I did get the actual large document that's a part of the bond process that Kareem sent me. And Philip, you were on my heart. I said, great. I can't wait to do it, Philip, about this.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I was just thinking about it just last week or this week as I was reading more stuff on interest rates. And I was like, yeah, sooner is better. The sooner we can get that loan, the more comfortable I'll be. So yeah.
Great.
And I know the sooner we can start construction, we have a renovation going on, and everybody who's involved in anything for the last 12 months on renovations will tell you that it's taking way longer than what they're saying. Because so you're right. Just reinforcing your comments about are there things structuring it, tiering it, maybe we do one floor not the other, or touch things, if there's ways where stuff falls through, can we have that stuff lined up and resist the demo until we actually have materials on site for that installation? All of that stuff. I'm just adding that reinforcement. Your thinking's right, and trust your gut. You're totally on the right track with it. Thanks for the update.
Well, and that's the reason why I feel good about this particular building. Everyone who has come into it has made the same comment. Oh my gosh, it's ready to use. I mean, outside the tiny, teeny little toilets that are in the younger children's classrooms, and that goes with the high school teachers. When they walked through it, they felt really great. They said, gosh, the space is really just ready to get into. So I agree with you, Philip. My mind has been kind of going in that direction already, what we need to do to make sure. So I feel fairly confident in that arena.
Yeah. And, just to really emphasize that one, right? So if it's ready to use now, the caution is to not then dive into the renovations thinking we have to do it immediately, and then suddenly we don't have a building that's ready to use in fall because it's stuck in renovations because things got stuck in delivery and it was delayed 3 months. And that maybe it's an aspect of saying it's a little bit longer project. I remember Richard making comments about we have several years to bring all those project dollars in before they actually have to be spent, right, to still apply and meet the conditions of our bond. So that's something to keep in mind as you're looking at it. Maybe we renovate one floor and not the other, so we'd be squished into a space while the renovation's finishing on one floor and then do the next floor. So you already touched on all of these. I'm just I was like, let me just really reinforcing. I really like where you are and what you're thinking. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
And if we need to come out to any of the meetings and bring any troops,
Right.
Don't know if that's necessary at this point, or if you feel there's a
I know.
need, we can rally.
Believe me, I'll let you all know that for sure.
Sounds good.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for all you're doing.
No.
All right, we're going to head over to finance. How we doing, Philip?
Well, I know I said a 45-minute update, but it's probably more like 45 seconds. But overall, December numbers are coming together, not quite as far along as usually at our board meeting, but overall, no surprises coming in for December. Things are looking good. The big news out there is all related to grants. Grants continue to be a major source of revenue coming into our organization, as they have for the last year or two now. And Patrice touched on ESSER 3 coming. One of the really kind of exciting parts about ESSER 3 that's different than ESSER 1 and 2 is it does have it's very substantial in dollar amounts. We're talking to the tune of $1.75 million just for IMO alone. So for our whole organization, it's very substantial. We remind you, we only have a $7 million budget on an annual basis. So spread that over 3 years, that's still a substantial impact. Also, because of that longer time frame, we're able to look at actually including some levels of staffing impact as well on that, where normally for grant stuff, we really don't, we try to limit really an impact on increasing staff. But with this longer time frame, Patrice has been able to open up. And I say Patrice and team are doing all of the work on it. I got the update, but I really like where the thinking is, and because we have that longer time frame, we're able to really bring these dollars in to continue to improve our organization where it can use them and where it needs it. So that's exciting one. Less exciting and more eye roll from the way government works. Our TSIA, teacher salary increase adjustment, still hasn't come through for the year. Here the OCPS.
But I do have an update, Philip. Do have an update.
Is it-
Just found out apparently that the unions have settled.
There we
So
go.
we should be getting that. So just so you know.
So breaking news should be coming soon. I feel like we've said that the last 3 months though, but I think they finally got there, right? Like it's not coming soon. Now it's unions, they've reached their agreement. So, let me see the other little updates. Really just a lot of the routine stuff overall. And I think that covers the bulk of the finances. So, as always, you can hit me up if you have questions, or I'd say send them to me. And if there's too involved on board stuff, or you can always follow Patrice and Dave as well if the monthly financials aren't quite as detailed as you'd like, or if you want more clarification on stuff. So that's all I have. Back to you, Kristen, unless there's any questions.
So just so I know, what is the date that we have to use the ESSER 3 until? Is there a time frame in which we have to?
Yeah, so ESSER 3, we can actually look back to March of 2020, and we can use it all the way forward to September of 2024. So that's going to cover through this school year, next school year, and the school year after. So it really stretches over a substantial amount of time frame. There is provisions in it that are specifically focused at assisting students, so like tutoring, summer school, things to provide basically catch-up support. So we have to use 20% of the funds towards that. We can use more, but it's specifically focused on that side of basically playing catch-up, right? So and that's where I'm pretty sure that's where that longer time frame, really, that justification comes in for that. Whatever the justification, I'm thrilled to have those additional dollars flowing into our organization with enough confidence that we'll be able to use it and that we can really put our programs in place to support it. Another thing worth noting, just jumped out of my mind. The longer time frame. This is a reimbursement grant, so we get the dollars after we spend them. So even though the dollars are substantial, we do have to keep in mind that cash flow piece of it, right? So we can ramp up and then have increased spending for a sustained amount of time, but we're not sitting on an extra $1 million to go out and buy something huge this summer and then get the full reimbursement at some point. So it'll be sustained spend over an extended amount of time. So we get reimbursed, spend more, get reimbursed, spend more, get reimbursed. And it's with how much grant money's flowed over the last few years, the process with OCPS and Dave and Department of Education, I think it's all become much more routine and streamlined because everyone's kind of in place and used to doing what they need to do. So.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So we're gonna head over to Marnie. Marnie, would you like to give us a PTO update?
Sure. Our shoes, we did really, really well. We collected 3,550 pairs of shoes. So thank you, everyone. Once we get the final check-in, I will let everyone know the total amount that we collected. So we're excited about that. We are going to do, or we just sent out flyers to do the Valentine's Day Wooden Roses. They're $1 each for cash, and there's 2 drop boxes for that. One at the main building and one at the Casa. And, or you can pay online. There is a little bit of a service fee, but whatever's more convenient for, and then the kids can give them out. Parents can give them to kids. So I think it'll be a really good, fun Valentine's Day. I don't know how about the teachers will feel, but it'll be fun for the kids. And then we're just getting started on looking into teacher appreciation and the plant sale again. So just some little fun events coming up. We're working also on getting the Spring Fest maybe moved to the end of the school year in May. Kind of doing it as an end of school year party instead of a Spring Fest, because I don't know how the numbers will be in February to have the event. And I think that's it. Anybody have any questions?
You're talking about the one at Scott's Farm, Marnie? Is that the one you're still looking at doing?
Yes, but it's going to be at Santa's Christmas tree farm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we're just checking on whether they're going to actually have staff to run the event for us in May. So we'll just wait and see.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Marnie.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. All right. Okay. Any other committee type updates that we would like to share?
I did forget also to share the gowns and the rings. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there to you guys that that's the other thing that's exciting is that we do have our own class rings now. And Cindy has held a couple of meetings for students to come in and with the vendor and be able to pick out class rings. So we all remember, maybe some of us remember when you may have done that. So it's an exciting time for the high school. Thank you all.
Thank you. I think that might be it, Kristen.
Okay. Well, then I will wrap us up at a record time,
Wow.
7:19. And thank you all. And let's keep on keeping on. I know it's a challenging time, but it's great to see everybody online, and we will keep going in this format as we need to.
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Have a
Stay
good
safe,
night.
guys.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Very good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.